I was listening to Wireless, I remember that well. Then a serving girl brought him over the job, Pacino, and picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Okay, I feel like that's important. So, wait a minute, let's go back. Okay, so he had this newspaper in his right hand, so his left hand would have been picking up the coffee cup. Do we have pictures that prove otherwise against that? Is this? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, okay. Okay, so you... That's where the handle is. So, one second, let me pick up an imaginary teacup, just... Okay, you'd have to pick that up with your right hand to get coffee stain there, because that's where they're saying he drank it from. So, then... Freehand... Wait a minute, let me go get the coffee cup. Then, why would it would have been in his other hand, then. Basically. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of the testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory. I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you, with nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat these seeds and sing a pigeon song. Oh no, please, just make him right, just let him be right. Let him be right. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. What is this, kindergarten? Well, I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim you'll notice a mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there's a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing a pigeon song. I don't want to see this, really. Mr. Kudo, I'm expecting this pigeon song to be quite good. I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait. If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony. That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. And that dead young hotbot in the... Wait, what? I'm sorry, what am I reading? It's that dead young hotbot and you spiky-haired yahoo, who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Godot? I guess this can't... I mean, I guess it does benefit him for keeping him there. I don't know if it benefits him. Maybe not. But, this is my 16th cup of coffee. So this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. Just call Godot Captain. You can rely on Victor. Or you can rely on... Yeah, you can rely on him. Did it say Victor? I don't remember. Oh, memory. Trying to remember so much about the case, I forget what I read sometimes. Left hand, right hand. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Okay, that's true. He kept fiddling with it all the time. Maybe he was applying his medication. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cuff, his left hand. We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. Okay, this is the weird thing now. And I'm just gonna sit here and talk about this for a minute. So, apparently I heard that this takes, like, the entire Phoenix Wright universe technically takes place in, like, a futuristic society. And I didn't think about it till now, but with what Godot just said it was, like, kind of like a scouter computer thing on your eye. It's like a computer on your eye, like maybe like a Google Glass sort of deal. And this was made a while ago. This was, but I don't know if this game was made before, like the Google Glass came out. This was kind of like so that's just kind of like hinting at the futuristic setting of the Phoenix Wright universe. I just find, yeah, that's just really interesting to me that it's it takes place in a futuristic setting. That's just like really cool. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I noticed that when I just noticed that or remembered it, I guess. A monitor, you mean? Like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool for the victim's line of work. Yeah, okay, that even further, that's proving it. Like, if that's a common tool, when even in today's technology, that's not really, something we have. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool that this is like a futuristic setting. Which, now that I think about it, makes sense when I'm looking at Godot. Like, just, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. HDTV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling the truth. Yeah, I don't think this is, like, extremely far in the future. I think it's... I don't know how far in the future it is, technically, from when the game was made, like, how futuristic it is. I don't think it's not, like, crazy in the future, but it's just, like, maybe, like, 10 years ahead, I think? That's what it seems like, at least. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts. It's in good old black and white. Well, he's wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Okay, so the earpiece is a separate piece then. And that would go over his ear, but he was applying medicine. That's just the first thing that's coming to mind. He was applying medicine. Would it be, yeah, this, so the bag was empty, so he used this medicine, so he was putting it in his ear, and he hurt his ear on that side too. Which is probably why he's fidgeting around so much, so he couldn't have the earpiece on. I'm just gonna start it off strong with that. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but... Mr. Kudo, there's something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see it from the side of his head... Wait, I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo. But the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured, which is why he had the medicine. Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece with his left ear, because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Beep beep, pigeon. Pretty pigeon. Well, he's singing. Order, order, order. The witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. And he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He couldn't even hear out of it. I just went for the medication one, but... I guess it works either way. Well, Mr. Godot? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in a cup. Oh my god, I agree so much! Oh my god, I hate extra stuff in coffee. Just cream and coffee and just milk products in coffee. I don't understand it. It just doesn't taste very good. It's like people that add sugar to coffee. It's like, when it gets sweet, it doesn't taste good. Anyway, this old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down, I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip of the cup held in his right hand, and then switched it over to his left. That's what the old man saw. But he died instantly. Impossible. The witnesses already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee. Which hand the victim used to pick up his coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The fact still stands, with one hand or not, or the other. Mr. Elk drank the poisoned coffee. Like this! Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of the testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory was credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. Puh. God, that was some intense coffee drinking. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I am satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court, but to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fodgy. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, you can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defense and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. The court is adjourned. Hold it. Wait, what? Oh, no. Wait. If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo? Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there. I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his own T's or cross his own I's now. Yeah, you did say dot T's and cross I's. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's something I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. Oh no. What? There's more. To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at the young shark. At you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say? One final showdown. The final chapter in this eccentric old man scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the coffee you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 60 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. And also, are you sure you want to do that? Because I think Godot could drive you into bankruptcy with as much coffee as he drinks. And trust me, I know, coffee ain't cheap. Coffee ain't cheap at all. Anyway. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet. Much, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. Ha ha ha, you better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing the seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. Yeah, he has some ridiculous amount of seeds, honestly. Almost as much as Godot's coffee. Bailiff, you need to stop handing out food to people. God, this courtroom is becoming a mess. I feel bad for the janitor who has to clean this all up. Hey, first of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of it myself. The young boy slumped over at the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, huh? Wait a minute. Okay, just to check how valid this statement is. Do we have a picture of the crime scene? Trespass floor plans. Crime photo. Wait, the vase is fine. What? Unless it's after. Wait, what? But he's dead there. The vase is fine. Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You're doubting me again. You're doubting a poor, defenseless old man. No, we are not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what, probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why all you can think of it. That's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. Well, I've already got my cross-examination planned out. As in, which statement was that again? Stress it might be nothing. Young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one of his... Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. Present. No. Crime photo. Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. Huh, so what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I know, Granddad, if you're a hopscotch. Ow. Ow. Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. Yeah, I was about to say, I feel bad for anyone who has to clean here. What is it now? I just remembered something. Yes? Go on. The broken vase. Haha, it was on my table. What? Well, you see... It startled me when that young lad collapsed, so I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table? Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin can be completely soaked. Dot, dot, dot. The entire courtroom. Just ellipses. Well, not exactly ellipses, but everyone individually ellipses. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. Now I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else. Just kick him out. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Oh, wait, listen to me. Thank God. Thank you, bailiff. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked. It is now, like, 3 a.m. in the morning. And I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are 2 other disparities in the testimonies we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece, which was inserted into his left ear out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it! I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor. The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarized it accordingly into this testimony. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. Oh, that's really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies, my own, yours, and Mr. Godot's. Yes, Your Honor. Victor's testimony added to the court record. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony, more like a 5-year-old's apology. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. The court is adjourned. Whew. Well, we made it through somehow. That's all that matters.